Good day to you, explorers. Today we are in Disney's Hollywood Studios and the air is warm and tinged with an essence of magical possibility. Let's take it in. That's the good stuff. That's because here in Walt Disney World, new experiences and attractions are always on the cusp of the horizon. But there is one particular attraction that is coming sooner rather than later. It seems like just yesterday we were in this very spot as we were anxiously anticipating the brand new innovative attraction Rise of the Resistance. A ride that took theme park technology and experience to the max. Almost 2 months after its debut, there is still a great clamoring to board. And I don't believe that hype will be subsiding anytime soon. But yet, even amidst the out-of-the-world hubbub that was the opening of Rise of the Resistance, there was still one particular attraction that was holding the prize of my anticipation. And in just a little over a month, that anticipation hopefully turns to a satisfaction as we welcome the long-awaited and well-overdue Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway here at the Chinese Theater. There's a lot to look forward to, but you know how we roll here in the happy place. I'm gonna narrow it down to 3. My top 3 things I am most excited for about Rise of the Resistance. We're narrowing it down to 3. The top 3 things that we're most excited about this brand new attraction. So, we're going all over the place. Stay with me here as we count down Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We're standing in front of the icon of Disney's Hollywood Studios, a recreation of the Grauman's Chinese Theater, a popular theater in Hollywood where many a Hollywood movie made its first premiere and debut. And it was lovingly created here as the centerpiece of a theme park that once held a park-wide focus and tribute to filmmaking. And we can see that homage taking place here on this dedication plaque, and whether by coincidence or an omen of clever synergy, we can see that this year, 1928, also happens to be the year another particular fellow took the stage. And this also happens to be why I am eagerly anticipating this new attraction. Reason number 1, Mickey Mouse is finally gonna get his due.
During the last few years, we've ventured into a lot of different fields, and we've had the opportunity to meet and work with a lot of wonderful people. I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse. Now that's why I want this part of the show to belong to Mickey.
Yes, the beginnings of Disneyland and even the brand of Disney itself can find its origins in one particular, Mickey Mouse. From his inception on a train over 90 years ago, Mickey Mouse has had a storied history. He was developed after Walt Disney was swindled out of the rights to, at the time, his most profitable character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Walt, looking at the disaster of a shattered career, picked up the pieces and formed Mickey Mouse, the savior of the company and the ultimate representation of Disney ideals. Walt had the considerable help of animator Ub Iwerks and more to thank for Mickey's overwhelming success, and it's really hard for me to separate Mickey Mouse from Walt Disney the man. Walt loved Mickey, and Walt was Mickey.
Why, Pluto, you've been dreaming again.
Mickey Mouse is such an important property for the company, and yet within the parks his appearance has always been celebrated but never fully established within his own attraction. Mickey Mouse has had a varied history in the parks, rarely being one hard to find, but usually serving as a host rather than the focus of a particular experience. If Mickey was involved in an attraction, he rarely held the majority spotlight. You can make arguments for the original opening day attraction, Mickey Mouse Revue, or Fantasmic, or The Magical Map, or even Mickey's PhilharMagic, which technically is an attraction in his name, but really, who are we kidding? That's an attraction that belongs to Donald Duck. There's never been a lack of Mickey, but there's never really been a truly devoted intent for Mickey either. Mickey Mouse has his beginnings in the shorts, which have definitely evolved over his 90-year history, having him adopt a large variety of character designs and traits. In 2013, the most recent incarnation of the character debuted within a new batch of Disney shorts. On first glance, I really disliked the new stylized version of Mickey Mouse, almost to a point of hatred. It was just too different, too jarring, and right from the get-go I said, no, thank you. And basically, I didn't watch any more of them as they came out. I was mostly ignorant to the fact that they were even being produced. I don't know when it was, but occasionally I'd hear another person's praise for the new Mickey Mouse and I would promptly put my foot down. No, it doesn't fully look like Walt's Mickey, and therefore I refused. Then someday, someone somewhere, I don't know where, made a reference to one of the shorts called Potato Land. If you haven't seen Potato Land, go and find it. It's one of these newer shorts that cheekily poked fun at Disneyland. Personally, I'm a fan of self-referencing humor if it's done well, and this was enough to tip the scale for me to make me want to check it out again. And something clicked this time, and I was able to look past the style and focus more on the meat of what the shorts were doing. And they're doing something really great.
Wear socks?
What? I wear no shoes.
I still don't love the design, but I understand it more as it allows a lot more character to shine through. But on literally everything else, these shorts are exceeding every possible expectation for animation. The shorts are hysterically funny. They respect their own history while also allowing themselves to playfully mock it.
Like the rainbow caverns. Well, that's funny. The map says they're supposed to be right here, but somebody put a big thundering mountain on top of them.
The action-packed gags are wildly inventive and creative and non-stop. They have an updated and modern appeal without sacrificing any of the classic and cartoonish slapstick that made those original shorts so iconic. Honestly, I think these shorts are the most honoring and advancing things that are coming out of Disney animation right now. Mickey Mouse in his first several short films was more or less a troublemaker. He was a fun-loving, music-making little guy who was constantly antagonizing animals, causing ludicrous amounts of property damage, and fervidly pining after Minnie Mouse in ways respectable and none. Each new installment was very unique in sound, in action, and in comedy. But as Mickey Mouse gained popularity through the 1930s, he basically became the ultimate showman for what the Disney company exhibited, and he slowly but surely became somewhat of a role model and corporate symbol. And thus Walt felt that perhaps his mischievous antics needed some retooling. So as Mickey evolved more from a comical rascal into a more wholesome everyman, he more or less came to embody the Mickey Mouse we generalize today. Over this period of time, we find Mickey growing into a more amicable, polite, and safer character, still classic and lovable, but different from that original take. This transition ultimately led to the creation of Donald Duck and Goofy, supporting characters who could more cleanly get away with some of the more outrageous gags that Disney animators wanted to attempt. Mickey's had quite a life, and I think that the shorts being produced today are the most akin to his original self and really echo the sentiment and feeling of what those original shorts first did. These are truly updated classics, just as zany and as madcap as they ever were.
What happened?
I tripped on a dwarf.
I tripped on a dwarf too.
No.
Sit on a dwarf?
No.
Click on a dwarf.
Oh, gosh.
And I think this kind of rapid, action-packed lunacy has such an amazing potential to translate well into a ride experience. Now, I'm really anti-spoiler, so the premise, as far as I've let myself become aware, is that this ride is going to put you in one of these shorts, maybe even put you into several of them. In a few glimpses that we've seen from on-ride, the level of detail and immersion here is off the charts. I swear, all these pictures of cast members against the animated backdrops appear to be cheaply photoshopped because the effect is done so well. On top of that, Imagineering is utilizing a brand new method of presentation they're coining as 2.5D, which I'm thinking is going to make the ride transition some of the best parts of this attraction. On Runaway Railway, we are going to be put into these Mickey shorts, into these Disney movies, and into these environments like never before. Mickey Mouse is finally going to get his due, and look at the vessel he's riding in on. Galaxy's Edge has done it phenomenally with Rise of the Resistance. There is not 1 centimeter of a space that has not been carefully realized there. But consider this, Rise is trying to replicate the cinematic authenticity of real-life 3D physical sets occupying the real world, but if we're being transported into a world of animation, and the world of Mickey Mouse and the world that he inhabits, that presents endless possibilities. Imagineers are the animators, and in animation, really, anything goes.
Excuse me?
Mickey Mouse is in the house. So good to see you. Yep, it's you. Oh, yeah, we're hugging now. We can say hi to all the people in the happy place. First up, Mickey, can I call you Mickey, Mr. Mouse? Mickey is formal, okay. Congratulations. We're excited about this new attraction that you're gonna get in just like a few days. I'm so excited. You've always been the star of Disney World. I don't think I'm out of line in saying that, but you're finally getting your own attraction. Are you like freaking out? Maybe a little? Maybe a little? You're gonna do great. Now I know you're the mastermind here, and we usually like to keep it spoiler free, but do you have any like little details or artistic nuances that we can be on the lookout for when we ride? Actually, no, let's keep it spoiler free. I wanna be excited, but I understand Minnie and the rest of the gang are gonna be there too. Gosh, I am so excited to run away on the railway, and I know you're a busy mouse, so I don't wanna take up too much of your time, but it's such a privilege to be in your presence. I'm digging the sorcerer's getup. Mickey, you're a pal. All right, thanks, Mickey. We'll see you on March 4th. Yeah, hugs. Oh my gosh, it was really him. It was really the Mickey Mouse. Wow. So Mickey, after his long and storied history, is finally getting his own attraction, and that makes me super excited. But something that also makes me excited is the cool and interesting way he's coming in on. And that leads us to our second #1 reason we're stoked. Number 2, just like Rise of the Resistance, Runaway Railway will also be employing a trackless ride system. Yes.
For years now, there has been a ride which I think could possibly be considered the best Disney ride. I can't confirm this, of course, because sadly, I actually never have and likely probably won't ever experience this ride firsthand. That's because it doesn't exist in any form here in America. There are a plethora of unique attractions featured in Disney parks around the globe that really intrigue me and fill me with envy. Incredible thrill rides like Journey to the Center of the Earth and Tokyo Disney Sea. Storytelling boat and dark rides like Sinbad's Storybook Voyage, also in Disney Sea, and even a fusion of both of them, thrilling storytelling dark boat rides like Pirates of the Caribbean, Battle for the Sunken Treasure over in Shanghai Disneyland. But I think above all of these and more, the best ride that I haven't ridden is probably a ride in Hong Kong Disneyland called Mystic Manor. Mystic Manor is a sort of incarnation of Haunted Mansion in the Hong Kong Disneyland park. Due to cultural differences in China, Mystic Manor is a tour of a mansion free of any ghosts and viewable spirits, but it still has a whole lot of energy. The general story of Mystic Manor sees Albert the monkey, the faithful sidekick of one Lord Henry Mystic, who happens upon his prized and potentially dangerous music box. When opened, this music box will cause everything in the estate to magically come alive. This sounds awesome in theory, and it is at first, as musical instruments come to life and begin playing themselves, paintings and sculptures move about and accentuate their stories. It's awesome and enchanting. But as we continue our tour of the manor, we realize the estate is filled with other countless artifacts and weapons. The threats of opening the box we quickly discover outweigh any of the positives we've seen so far. We might actually be in some serious shenanigans here. And so we follow Albert as he realizes the error of his ways and attempts to close this music box without imploding the manor, a task that becomes more and more challenging with every room we enter. All building to an extreme, wild, windswept finale as the manor literally begins crumbling around us. All in all, this ride is essentially a madcap retelling of The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now, I've only ever experienced Mystic Manor by watching YouTube POVs, arguably the worst way to consume a Disney attraction, but nevertheless, I've watched dozens wistfully and I long for a version to surface here in the States. It's such a complex attraction, but it's presented so seamlessly. The reason I think I like Mystic Manor the most is because of its whimsicalness. Is that a word? I don't know. I don't care. That's what this ride evokes in me, is a whimsicalness. It tells an exciting and eccentric and endearing story where nothing is off limits, told with a bunch of thrills and a bunch of gags. Plus, there's a bunch of cool audio animatronics and some really effective special effects. It's got powerful influence from every great Disney ride element. It's a dark ride, it's got special effects, it's got humor and transitions. I'll continue to hope for a plane ticket or a version of Mystic Manor to be set up here in the US park someday. But for right now, I think Runaway Railway could deliver on each of these elements I'm craving from Mystic Manor. Humor, check. Special effects, check. Audio animatronics, check. And perhaps most effectively, a trackless ride system that will allow riders to wackily go through constantly adapting scenes and scenarios with no clear direction where potentially anything can and probably will happen. Check. All of these factors are so important, and I think that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway will have a similar vibe to this, a similar zaniness that makes Mystic Manor so appealing to me. As Runaway Railway would suggest, we're going to be boarding a train conducted by Goofy himself, and I think our ride experience is going to be anything but casual. Of course, that goes without saying. The overseas parks have had trackless ride systems for a while now, and each of them look really fantastic. They add a particular element of the unexpected that I think is really valuable in any kind of experience. The beauty of a trackless ride is, you guessed it, there is no track. Much like a Disney short or a tour through an enchanted mansion or a Star Destroyer, there is no predictability. Your ride vehicle does not have a perceivably certain way to go. As a rider, everything feels completely random, and that excites me greatly. We've finally seen here in the States how effective the trackless ride system is at employing high energy and seeming haphazardness. I can't wait to have it utilized in this kind of Mickey-centric venue. I can tell you realistically and confidently, Runaway Railway is going to be nothing like Rise of the Resistance or Mystic Manor, but they all share a similarity in their ride system, and it's that ride system that gives Imagineers the liberty to really go wild and create a compelling experience that will 100% deliver on whimsicalness. And it's gonna be awesome.
So counting Rise of the Resistance, Runaway Railway, and the upcoming Remy's Ratatouille ride, we will not only be getting 3 very alliterative R rides, but also 3 innovative, new, and exciting trackless dark ride systems. But there's also an extra something special about this attraction that gets me really super hyped. Number 3. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to have its own original theme song. And that is pretty special, I think.
Enchanted Tiki Room. It's a Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, Carousel of Progress, Haunted Mansion. Each of these are classic and iconic attractions, and each of them share a few special traits that unify them together. Each have audio animatronics, each were produced in the heyday of Disneyland, and were mostly overseen and directed by Walt himself, and perhaps most importantly for my point here, each contain the lasting impact of a catchy and melodious and fully entertaining original theme song. I wouldn't doubt that it's not the first thing you think about when you ponder each of these attractions. If not for copyright, I would play clips of each of them for you right now, but who are we kidding? You know them all by heart anyway. The Enchanted Tiki Room was really the first to employ a completely original song during the experience. Original meaning a song that had no real origins from a previous movie or property, just a full, straight-on melody that would be wholly unique to this Tiki Room experience. Music is powerful, but when you add words, something else happens. You have a metaphysical keepsake, a much more commanding memory of your experience. When well done, it's a mental and contagious souvenir. While I was a kid growing up in the Midwest, unable to visit the parks, I was more apt to discover these songs while watching, Disney sing-along songs and things like that. These melodies are firmly planted within my childhood, even though I didn't experience them as originally intended. Still though, these songs gave me a unique connection to the parks. Music plays such a vital role when you're inside the parks, and when you can finally associate these songs with the beauty of a physical experience, they mean so much more to you. In a roundabout example, the first time I experienced this kind of musical connection was on my first visit in memory to Magic Kingdom. I walked with my dad into the magnificent Carousel Theater in Tomorrowland to watch the audio animatronic attraction, Carousel of Progress. Get ready for this history lesson, guys. Carousel of Progress debuted at the 1964 World's Fair in a partnership with General Electric. It would soon after find residence in Disneyland and then find a permanent home in the Magic Kingdom, where it's been for many years. Carousel of Progress tells the story of John and his family as they experience the latest in technology from era to era. As each scene concludes, not only are you rotated to the next scene, but with each transition, you are accompanied by the family singing the harmonious and iconic melody, "There's a great big beautiful tomorrow." The song was written by the brothers Robert and Richard Sherman, who had recently penned In the Tiki Tiki Room and For Better For Worse, It's a Small World. I first walked out of that experience fully entertained, but my dad, equally entertained, left somewhat perplexed, saying that they changed the song. He had vividly remembered a completely different melody, and he even sang it back to me, and he wasn't wrong. The first time my dad saw Carousel of Progress, it had a completely different piece called The Best Time of Your Life as its transition song. When Carousel of Progress made the move from Disneyland to Magic Kingdom, the whole show received a facelift of sorts. As modern tech had updated, the program could now display more new and innovating things. Sponsor General Electric also looked at the current show and didn't see enough commercial appeal. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow? We want consumers to buy product today, they thought. So, in the refresh, they once again commissioned the Sherman Brothers to write a song that boasted that not tomorrow, but now is the best time of your life.
Now is the time, now is the best time, now is the best time of your life. Life is a prize, live every minute open.
Despite the marketing tactic going on behind the scenes, the Sherman Brothers delivered another really memorable song to the Disney catalog for Carousel of Progress that is still imprinted in the minds of those who first experienced it that way.
You've got it made, the world's forward marching and you're in the parade. Now is
For nearly 2 decades, Carousel sung the best time of your life. And that's the impact my dad took away from it. I prefer the original because that's how I experience it. For him, the original will always be the best time of your life, and he prefers that. And while most of the show remains intact, it was the song that really shaped the experience for us. Again, it's essentially the same experience impacted by a single song. A song can change everything. And this is one of the reasons I think the original Epcot Center is so fondly remembered. There's such an air of palpable nostalgia connected to that entire original decade. Sure, it's mostly because it had a wealth of unique and dynamic attractions, but you know what else each of those attractions had? Take a look at Epcot Forever, a whole show that really comes alive, almost fully due to the fact that the original Epcot Center had an amazing soundtrack full of original songs. Spaceship Earth had Tomorrow's Child, Horizons had New Horizons, Universe of Energy had 2 theme songs, World of Motion had It's Fun to Be Free, even the Kodak store had its own awesome and memorable jingle. And I could go on, and I really want to. Music and original songs are a crucial piece of what made the original Epcot Center so beloved. Now, why do I say all this? Music is a tool that Disney has the ability to wield perfectly, and it has. They have a history that shows this. Disney music inspires more specific memory that heightens experience long after you walk through the gift shop. Yes, you have the attraction itself to remember, but the tune you get to take home for free is what really implants itself into your mind. Every Disney attraction has been blessed with some kind of beautiful or fun or cinematic score. Flight of Passage and Soarin' quickly come to mind, but think about it. It's been quite some time since we've had a ride with its own fully original theme song. Nearly 15 years, not counting shows and parades, 15 years since a ride has had an original theme song. The Seas with Nemo and Friends in Epcot debuted in 2006 with the catchy ballad, In the Big Blue World, which I know you're all belting mentally right now. But before 2006, it's just the original Epcot songs, and before then it was basically just 1960s era Disneyland since we've had original ride theme songs. It's a factor that's been really missing from a lot of newer attractions, and clearly this is probably an IP and Bob Iger symptom for sure, which is why I really want Runaway Railway to succeed here so badly. It's because we can hopefully see that kind of factor return to the parks. I am so beyond thrilled that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to have its own theme song. I'm sure it will work differently than the ride songs we've heard before, but I have confidence in what we'll soon experience. I don't know who's penning this new song, but they carry a special burden that will last longer and loom more prevalent than any kind of on-ride moment. Not only the task to associate a song to a single ride, but to a whole vacation, a whole experience, a whole subconscious memoir. That's the power of a song, and this one has got to be good. I need it to be good. I need it to fall somewhere between the Bear Band Serenade and Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit, or better, if that's even possible. A boy can wish.
What I'm trying to say basically is songs are important, and I'm really excited that we're going to be getting another one here in Walt Disney World. So there you have it, guys. We're barely off the high of Rise of the Resistance, and we're already knocking on the door of Imagineering's next groundbreaking attraction. And remember, Disneyland's already cashing in on this attraction. They're going to have their own version coming out in 2022. So Disney already knows how good this attraction is. They're already duplicating it. We just have to wait until March 4th to find out why. Honestly, just by its nature and subject matter, my anticipation for this one exceeds any kind of excitement that I had for Rise of the Resistance. And guys, I was so freaking excited for Rise of the Resistance. That should tell you how much I'm looking forward to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And so now we anxiously anticipate until when the sign goes up, the doors open, and we are officially riding Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway here in Disney's Hollywood Studios on March 4th. In just a few more days, and we'll be here. So make sure you're here with us when we do. And until next time, we'll see you in the happy place. Bye. Minnie, so good to see you. You're looking dapper as ever. We're gonna be talking to Mickey about the new attraction that's coming out that you're co-starring in. Is what you're gonna be wearing to the premiere? Maybe? They're probably gonna be. That's smart. Oh, you're gonna make something else? So it's Minnie by Minnie. I like it. I think I got an idea for a sequel. It's just Minnie's Runaway Railway. Right? There we go. Perfect. The camera loves you, Harry.
They're giving Mickey Mouse a grand ovation. His picture's going to be a big sensation. Picture stars